Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn NBA Show for today. It is May the 26th. Only one Western Conference NBA Finals game on the board for today. We'll deep dive into it, jump into a quick recap as well, and see what jaXon likes. We'll get to all the things as we always do, man. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Shout out to everyone who have served to protect our country in general. It's one of the greatest sacrifices that you can make. So if you know anybody, family member, definitely make sure you send them a text message, show some love, some appreciation, and not just, live for the day to be off from work, That's super important that we, take a moment to recognize and remember those people that put it all on the line for us. The greatest sacrifice is your life. All right, let's jump into it for today. So, I didn't make any plays yesterday. The NBA, I want to make sure I say this real quick. The NBA, with the way things have gone in the last round, the semifinals, feel hard to kind of predict, man. A couple of these bounce back spots, yes, but if you've been rocking with me for the whole year, more so even for the playoffs, we're up. I'm not trying to give all my money back, man. The Pacers and the Knicks games have been crazy. The Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder game was a nice little bounce back spot. I didn't bet it in the last game. Yesterday I stayed off everything too. I didn't make a bet yesterday. So 0-0 night yesterday. What I talked about playing was the over, which the Pacers shot terrible from the 3-point line, so the game did go under. I also talked about the Knicks plus the 2, thinking that they were just still the better team and they would win the game, and they did. And then also Josh Hart over his points, which would have been a loser. That one did not cash. So I would have went 1-2 yesterday, which would have been a losing night. But I didn't play anything. And I hope you guys made some money. Let's jump into some comments real quick, see who's here and if people made money yesterday. Algina says she went 0-1. Good morning, Algina. She says went 0-1 in the W, played the over, fell a bit short. It was some shooting regression last night. Let's find some winners today. Yeah. Pacers shot the ball terribly. The Knicks also couldn't score the basketball. Let's see. What up? Matt says OKC money line. What up, prestigious prodigy? Lonzo says Graham Rising, Cap and family. I'm feeling OKC first quarter. OKC money line full game. Hopefully OKC shows up. I feel like we've been getting a lot of OKC love in the chat. Game 1 was OKC. I like Minnesota. Game 2 was OKC. Game 3. OKC was bringing the brooms out, and OKC got smoked in that game. So, a lot of OKC love in here. Chat under his rebounds for Cal. Hardenstein under his points, rebounds, and assists. Frejo, good morning, bro. It says respect to those who won and have served. That's a fact. That is a fact, man. Shout out to those. What's up, Mike? He says great intro, Chris. Thanks to all the folks. So it's a fact, man. It's a fact. It's a great sacrifice. Great sacrifice. I don't think people take it. Take a moment to think about it all the time. What up, Peasy? Appreciate you for tapping in. Frejo says, please hit the like button, man. Hit the like button for Chris. Appreciate you, Frejo. Yeah, take a second, hit the like button if you guys can. It definitely helps out the algorithm. More people cashing, the NBA, WNBA, all this stuff, man. Hit the like button, drop the show, link in the group chat, like I always tell you guys. What's up? Can't stop. Just top of the morning, Chris. He says he feels lucky escape with the Knicks money line yesterday. These games are super hard to cap the playoffs. Yeah, it's different. It's just different, man. Dom says Tibbs finally figured out he has a bench play, something like that, Dobbs. But Karl Anthony Towns was the guy last night in the fourth quarter. 20-8 last night for Karl Anthony Towns, man. Marquis says rise and grind. Mystics first half under 38.5 was an easy winner. Scored 22 points. Yeah, that was crazy. I was looking at the live line. I think it was like 44 points, 54 points scored in the first half. The live line was like 140. I was like, nah, I can't even get there. I bet any WNBA live yesterday. I thought I would, but I ended up not doing so. We don't have WNBA for the day, but it is, I think, 4 games for tomorrow. So we'll talk about those games tomorrow. But let's jump into it for today, man. So we'll start off with jaXon as we always do. Yesterday, I think the only thing I talked about was the Josh Hart over his points at 8.5. He finished with 8, I think. So it'd have been a loser. As far as today, I wanted to go back, same thing, right? Favorite 2 player props, 1 over, 1 under. jaXon likes Jalen Williams over his 4.5 assists. This is one that Jackson's given out before. Said he's been highly consistent, hitting the over 80% of his last 5 games, 70% of his last 10, averaging his average over the last 10 games is right at 5.4, comfortably over the 4.5 line. Against the Timberwolves this season, Williams has excelled, hitting the line at 85% of his games, averaging 5.57 assists. Timberwolves defense has struggled to contain playmakers, making this a favorable matchup. Home road splits as a visitor, he's maintained strong assist numbers, averaging 5.51 assists per game with a 69.2% hit rate. To the over. Game context, the Thunder looking to bounce back after a blowout game 3. Williams is expected to play a key role in facilitating the offense. His potential assists, 15.3 per game in the playoffs, suggests he has room to exceed this line. He's averaging 15.3 assists. I have difficulty believing that, but that's what Jackson likes. As far as under for the game, Jackson likes Cason Wallace under his 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Double check these lines, make sure they're still available. But under for Cason Wallace says Wallace has gone under in 3 of his last 5 road games, averaging 11.2 points, rebounds, and assists during that span. In this series, he's averaged a mere 10.3 points, rebounds, and assists, well below the 11.5 line. Game 3 struggles. His role diminished, as evident by his Game 3 performance, where he played just 16 minutes, failed to attempt a shot, and finished with just 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. The Timberwolves defense has effectively limited Wallace's impact, and with the Thunder needing to rely on their stars, his opportunities are likely to remain limited. Game context: given his reduced role and lack of offensive aggression, Wallace is unlikely to see a significant uptick in production, making the under a strong play. So, Jackson likes Cason Wallace under, also likes Jalen Williams over his 4.5 assists. Cason Wallace under his points, rebounds, and assists at 11.5. All right, so let's jump into the matchup. So Thunder, Timberwolves game will be played, of course, in Minnesota. Game 4. We saw Game 3. Just double check the line real quick. I think it's still 3 though, and it's opened at 4. I definitely think I saw 4 when I was looking into this the other day. Yesterday, matter of fact. Just double check real quick. So you can get a couple 3.5, some juice 3.5s at BetMGM. Looks like they got a 3.5. Valley Bet and Bet Rivers got a 3.5, but the consensus is 3.5. I mean 3. I'm sorry, 3 total in this one. Up to 219 on DraftKings. Look like consensus is 218.5 everywhere else. And this total shot up. It opened 216.5. It's up to 219. And the spread, like I said, opened 3.5, went up to 4. Now it's back down to 3. So money coming in on the Timberwolves in this spot, thinking that they can, lose the game by possession or, win it outright to force a game number, a pivotal Game 5 in Oklahoma City is what will be coming up next. So, real quick, let's just go through it, man. It's not rocket science. Game 1, I got the numbers on the screen for you guys. We talked about this, right? I talked about this on today's Monday. I talked about it on Saturday. Timberwolves did not shoot the ball the way that I thought that they would in game number 1. You can see it. It's highlighted, 29% from the three-point line. That was the biggest discrepancy in my opinion because they shot 51 threes, only 34% from the field as well. Also, their turnovers plagued them in that game. 19 turnovers led to 31 points. You can see that at the bottom in yellow as well. Also got dominated points in the paint, right? 54-20 in game number 1. Game number 2 was a rerun of game number 1. They shot 28% from the three-point line. 14 turnovers, led to 22 points off the turnovers for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Also got dominated in the paint again, 58-44. And you can see the fast break points from Minnesota in both of these games. I mean, for the Timberwolves in these games, they were plus 12 in game 1. They were plus 5 in game 2. And then we fast forward to game 3. Now look, so now the Minnesota Timberwolves go from being on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, to now they're the right-hand side because they're the home team. So what we saw in this game, the regression, the positive regression or the progression, right, from the Minnesota Timberwolves, shooting 50% from the three-point line. I told you guys, I don't even need to look at the numbers no more because I remember them off the top of my head. But they were they shot the 6th most threes. They shot it at the 6th best percentage throughout the season. So it made sense for them. And I probably should have just bet Minnesota in the first half in the last game. 50% from the three-point line. They hit 23s. They dominated the boards, 50-31. Offensive rebounds, they were plus 6. The points off, the turnovers in general, OKC actually turned the ball over more, 15 times giving up 16 points. Timberwolves still turned it over, but just 10 times for 15 points. So they actually, only a -1. And then look at that points in the paint. They actually a a plus 14 after getting dominated, -14 and a -34. So what do we see in game number 4? Couple things I looked into, and I don't really like looking at historical trends because I feel like these 4 teams don't have a lot of champions on the teams in general, right? Like these are not your bread and butter type teams, your household names, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, even the New York Knicks haven't been this far in quite a while. So I think it's really difficult. I want to preface that by saying that. Preface what I'm about to say by saying that. Looking at these historical trends for these teams, in my opinion, I don't think that they really come into play that much, even though you can play them. So what I'll tell you guys is this: home dogs who won game 3, so I'm talking about the Timberwolves, home dogs who won game 3, and then home dogs in game 4. Again, just 15-30 straight up, 19-23-3 against the spread in game 4s. So they don't typically win. They don't typically cover. Both of those are losing propositions. However, if you isolate it to conference finals or finals, right? They're 3-3 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread. That gives the Minnesota Timberwolves a little chance based on the historical data. The home dogs in game 4, where the spread is within a possession, right? So now we have a 3-point spread or less after the second round. So we're talking about conference finals or finals, are 8-4 straight up and 10-2 against the spread. That also gives Minnesota a lot of opportunity to win this game if we're just looking at historical data. The totals in those games, 25, 19, and 1 to the under if the home dog won game 3, and then their dogs in game number 4. If you isolate it to conference finals and NBA finals, it's 4-2 to the under as well. So I kind of feel like Minnesota can get the job done again. If we go back and look at I posted this, I didn't even update it, but if we look at this, I shared this on Saturday. The Oklahoma City Thunder are now 0-6 against the spread, specifically in the playoffs. We saw this against Memphis in the first round. They got smoked and didn't cover that spread. We saw this in Denver. They really struggled in Denver. And I'm just thinking to myself, kind of scratching my head. I'm like, man, Denver is not as good as Minnesota. Minnesota just can't knock down their 3-point shot. So I kind of feel like Minnesota can win the game, man. I do. I want to take the +3. I want to take a little bit on the money line. As far as the total goes, because OKC's offense, right? They're just not as great offensively. And real quick, I just want to show you guys a couple things real quick because I see a lot of love for OKC. I get it. They have been the best team all season, but if you can find ways to fade them, I think you can make some money, right? So don't let me talk you off. If you like OKC, play OKC, man. Don't let me talk you off at all. But real quick, let's go. What am I sharing? All right. So here we go. All right. So I'm actually sharing the wrong screen. All right. I got so many windows pulled up. Let's do this. All right. Yeah. Let's go here. All right, make this a bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, so this is the trend I was just telling you guys. This is home dogs in game 4, getting 3 points or less in the third round or the fourth round. So conference finals or finals, 8-4 straight up, 10-2 against the spread. This favors OKC. You can see right here. This favors Minnesota. You can see right here. Pretty strong trend, 10-2. If you're into trends in general. And these are home dogs. You can see that they, to me, that's enough for me to want to take OKC. Take Minnesota. But not just off the strength of that. I think they can win the game again. Real quick, the reason why, we've been talking about this for a while now. Maybe some people don't understand it, but the Thunder, in the playoffs and at home. So look at this, right? 123 is what they're averaging, giving up 99. Absolutely smoking teams, winning by average of 24 points, right there, right? 23.9. You can see it right there. So they've been smoking teams at the crib, right? They've covered, 6-2 against the number. But keep in mind this number right here, 123.25. Offense has been elite at the crib. If we just flip this, right, and we look at road, Now they go 0-6, right? This is what we talked about with Moneyballer. Shout out to Moneyballer. Look at the offense, 105 points. 105 points per game comes down from 124 points. This is why I can't necessarily get there with the over either. You can see the defense at home giving up 99 points, on the road giving up 114. So the defense is not as good, the offense is not as good, which has led to 0-6 against the number. Do they miraculously get it together now? Didn't cover against the Grizzlies in either game, didn't cover against the Nuggets in either game on the road. All 3 games on the road. This is game 3, game 4, game 6, and then game 3 against the Timberwolves as well. Got smoked, man. Look at their Delta points score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 times they stay under their team total. And in 4 of these games, they've allowed their opponents to go over their team total. They did hold the Grizzlies to, 6.5 points under. I'm sorry, 2.5 points under. And then they held the Nuggets to 23.5 points under. But yeah, I want nothing to do with the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road, man. If they away from the crib, I think you continue to fade them. I don't care. I don't care what y'all said in the comments. I haven't bet it yet, but that's the side I want to be on. As far as player props, let's just finish real quick. As far as player props, and I'll go through the comments, be a quick show, get off here. As far as player props go, this is the one guy I kind of want to play on is Naz Reid, man. He still hasn't had a good game yet. You can see the first 3 games here. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check out Outlier for a 7-day free trial. I only look at NBA on here, but you can look at WNBA, MLB, all the different sports as well. So these are the first 3 games for Naz Reid in this series, 4, 10, and 10. He has not had a breakout game yet. What did he shoot? 1 for 9 in game 1, 3 for 8 in game 2. These games, of course, was in OKC, and then 4 for 6 in game number 3. I kind of feel like a Naz Reid game is coming, man. We just haven't had it. We haven't seen it yet. The books aren't stupid though. They haven't adjusted the number, even though he hasn't scored 12 points yet. They still got the number set at 11.5. I kind of think we see a Naz Reid game eventually, man. I want to bet on Naz Reid. I think he can get there. And this is a game where I'm not really sure what to do with the total. I do agree with it going back up, but maybe just a Minnesota team total over. Can't trust the OKC offense in OKC. Minnesota also the 6th best defensive team. We got to stop sleeping on Minnesota. I know that they got smoked in game 1 and game 2, but they take care of the ball a little bit better at the crib. Other player I want to look at, Dante DiVincenzo. Just these role players that's going to come off the bench that's going to have these pretty low lines. I talked about these players in the last game as well. And you can see Dante DiVincenzo, finished with just 6 points in that last game, played just 16.3 minutes. This in large part was due to the blowout. But I think, at 7.5, I think he could get there. You look at his head-to-head numbers. He's gone over. These were his first 2 playoff games, 9 and 8. I like DiVincenzo over too. I do like Dante DiVincenzo over. You can see this season, he's played them really well. 1, 2, 3. So he's gone up and over the number in all the games. And then real quick, if we look at Nas, I forgot to mention this, but Nas talked about this on the last show. Nas is going up and over his points prop. He went up and over in all the games this year. You can see him right here, right? Let's see real quick. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these were the 3 games this year. 4 games this year. The 5 games this year? Nah, that would have been the end of last year. Yeah. So Nas has actually played well, just not in the playoffs, man. I kind of feel like he gets it together as well. I don't want to bet on nobody for OKC because their offense stinks on the road. So those would be the ways that I'd be playing it, man. If I was playing this game, hopefully that's helpful for your handicap. Let's see what you guys are thinking real quick. We'll get into a quick recap. Let's see. What's up, Andrew? Appreciate you for stopping in. What up, Malik? Hope all is well out in Chi-Town. Juan says OKC didn't win a quarter in game 3. I think it's a good play. OKC first half -1.5. Let me talk you off, my brother. Can't Stop says not gonna lie. After OKC got smoked in game 3 at Denver, I saw that butt whipping coming. Thunder seemed to have a road problem, especially in the first game of the on the road. That's a fact. That's a fact. Dom says love Memphis. OKC first half under 107.5. Let's see if that's the best number we can get. First First half total points. If you think OKC's defense is going to be a little bit better, I think Memphis defense is good. Yeah, that is the best number, minus 105 on bet 365. He says, can't see Minnesota shooting 47% from the three. I don't either. I mean, their offense is bound to regress. Here's the problem with that, though, Dons. The books know that, too. That's why their team total, they scored 143. Their team total is 107. The books know. They know. Maybe an OKC team total under 110. British says, Jay Will, under 28 points plus rebounds in his pocket. The numbers don't lie. I think he's going to struggle on the road. He did go, 3 for 16 on the road in that last game against Denver. What was that? Game 6 in Denver. Yeah, he didn't show up in that game. DJ says, I saw a stat. No team has gone up 3-0 when Scott Foster's the ref. I won't say the entire NBA is rigged, but they will find spots to make their business more money in the end. Yeah, I disagree. I can't agree with that, man. If Scott Foster was there to set him up yesterday, he would have gave Karl Anthony Towns a foul in the fourth quarter when he went crazy last night. Pacers just blew it. I don't think you can blame it on Scott Foster. I get the correlation. Scott Foster the extender, but man, Karl Anthony Towns happened in the fourth quarter. The Pacers were not ready to respond. I don't agree with the Knicks being saved by I understand the conspiracy theories though. What up, Mark? Hope all is well with you, bro. Brian says Timberwolves first quarter. What up, Brian? He says Timberwolves first quarter, first half points and team total over full game. Anthony Edwards rebounds and assists. Run it back. Okay. Dirty Rig says Timberwolves both games they won regular season was without Rudy Gobert. Dom says, Prop says I'm on Timberwolves. Can't deny the team that has made us a lot of money at home as home dogs this season. I like that. What up, Prolific? Says Chris, you howling today? That cost me yesterday. Nah, I didn't. I ain't howling today. But if I play it, I am taking the Wolves, though. I am taking the Wolves. Only thing I want to take. Nas Reed points didn't hit last game because of the blowout. I think it goes over today. I like Nas as well. Gobert under, Brian says, thought it might be tight. Yeah, it's going to be a little too tight in my opinion now. It was great to play in, game 1 and game 2. Rudy out there, all he doing is rebounding. He ain't even getting rim runs. But I like it. Mark says played Minnesota plus the 3.5. And we'll be looking to play and over it in the same way, purely situational. I like it. Nas threes. Over 1.5 is a better look than his points, Brian says. Let's look at that, because you could be right. I mean, that's all he's going to do is, spread the floor, in my opinion. 3-pointers made. Let's see what we got. Yeah, 140 is ugly, though, boy. Man, 140 ugly. FanDuel got a minus 140. ESPN Bet got a minus 140 as well. I like it. I think Nas hits 2 threes though. Maybe even a sprinkle on 3. Think his shot gonna start to fall. I like that, Brian. I like that a lot. Let's go. Let's write Nas Reed threes down. And if I think he hit the threes, I think he's gonna get to the points too. Over 1.5 threes. All right. Can't stop says I like the Wolves today. That's where the volume is. The higher the spread gets, the more I like the Wolves. We know they need this game. That's a fact. Lazo says OKC has lost back-to-back games. Has not lost back-to-back games all postseason. Shea Butter and company get it done today. Give the Wolves. Give me Wolves in Game 5. I don't think the Wolves can go in Minnesota. I don't think they can go in OKC and win Game 5 if they lose this one. Like, that'd be hard for me to see. That'd be really hard for me to see. But while we're on that note, let's just double check. Let's just fact check you real quick and make sure the Thunder haven't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs this season. I feel like they did. Nah, you're right. They have not. They've failed to cover, though. They have failed to cover. They've failed to cover 3 in a row. Games 3 and 4 against the Grizzlies and Game 1 against the Nuggets. And then they failed to cover 4 games in a row against the Nuggets. But you're right. They have not lost back-to-back games. So let's look at the Thunder off a loss. 3-0 straight up, 2-1 against the number. Only one of those games happened on the road, 92-87 against the Nuggets. So they did win, but they didn't cover. They were laying 5 in that. They were laying 7 in that game. Okay, good look, good find, Lonzo. Play Gobert under points, rebounds, and assists. DJ says Wolves started doubling SGA on the drive at the end of game 2, and I think they have some success with that again. Western Conference Finals is so boring. I disagree. I'm having fun watching this series. Nas played fine last game. He just didn't throw up too much volume. I agree with that. And real quick, I think I brought this up, right? Yeah, here we go. So here the box scores for both teams in game 3. You can see, where's Nas? Nas is, he down here at the bottom. So right here, his 10, he finished with 10 on 4 for 6 shooting. He did go up and over the 1.5 threes, finished with 2. Julius Randle, 24, 4, and 3. Jaden McDaniels played pretty well, 10 points. He was a plus 28. Not Rudy Gobert, 7, 7, and 2 with 2 steals, only played 28 minutes. The thing we got to take in context is that the Timberwolves didn't have to play their starters for all the minutes. We got to remember that, right? Even though Ant played 30 minutes and finished with 30 points. The 3-point regression, I think Downs mentioned it. I do think that's going to happen. But the Timberwolves shoot the 3 really good, man. And that's the variance of the NBA, right? They scored, 80-something points in game 1. And I don't think they scored many more in game 2. 3 shot, less than 30% from the 3-point line in both of those games. Game 3, they come home, they hit 50% and get to 140 points. So sometimes it's really that simple in today's NBA, man. 3-point shot falling, the game's going to go over. But yeah, their bench played really well too. Shout out to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The rookie Shannon played really good, even though his numbers aren't up here on the box score. So yeah, they played pretty good. Dante DiVincenzo also wasn't needed as much. He only finished with 6 points. Let's see, 77 figures says Wolves plus 3.5. Going back to the well, hit with the Wolves. OKC not the same on the road, fellas. We talked about it. Downs' Pacers folded like a wallet. That ain't on Foster. That's a fact. People gonna always have conspiracy theories, though, man. The more years I handicap the playoffs, over time, the more I realize people just try to find. Any kind of narrative, right, that they can find. People just gonna go with it. But if that's you, man. I ain't here to argue with you. I'm trying to make some money. I love it. Says NBA is a business, young man. You got to know that. Couldn't disagree more. It is a business. That's a fact. But the business ain't sending the Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves to the finals. If that was the business, if it was a business, it'd be Golden State against the Lakers, because that would draw a lot more ratings. That's just my thought process, man. I digress. We be talking about all the wrong stuff. Let's see. RH says Ant rebounds and assists in his pocket. Afraid to remind people to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like if you guys can. Lonzo joined as a member. Appreciate that, Lonzo. Andrea says, first time catching this live. Yeah, I did it a little later today because I figured people were gonna sleep in, because it was Memorial Day. Dante says you can see regression happening due to them shooting 28 and 29% in game 1 over averages. Would say they shoot it well, maybe not that elite. And I agree. I definitely agree with that. Which is why I couldn't get to the over for the full game. I think OKC's defense can play a little bit better. But Minnesota plays so slow, right? So real quick, let's just go back and look at that. Minnesota plays so slow, man. If their 3-point shots are falling, it took me a while to figure this out too. But if Minnesota 3-point shots are falling, they typically go over. If Minnesota 3-point shots are not falling, they typically go under. And a lot of that is due to the pace. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about real quick, and then we'll jump into a quick recap. But if you look at Minnesota this season, right, the pace in game number, matter of fact, I'll pull this up so you guys can see it as well. I'm just on NBA.com, advanced stats under teams. So real quick, let's pull this up. All right. So this is the, hopefully you guys can see this. This is, this is the Minnesota Timberwolves team profile. So you can see that the pace in this last game, 101.5, was the fastest that they've played in the 3 games so far, right? Which is actually a lot faster, because 96 and 97 possessions per team is pretty slow. But look at their offensive rating, and that's because the threes fell. Whenever you shoot 50% from the 3-point line, you are going to have an offensive rating that's going to be north of 120, 125. And if the threes are falling, boom. And then, of course, that leads into them playing some defense. So the Thunder they have an offensive rating of 99. right? So I mean, that's just the way it goes. If the 3-point shots are falling, I am expecting some regression, which this is what scares me off the total, because do we see such a fast pace when typically these teams do play really really slow? The one thing I don't want to one thing I don't want to bank on though is OKC's offense to recover. Like, yeah, they could come out and play better defense, but I just watched Denver slow this team down in the last round, and Denver is not a great defense. We know that Denver is not a great defense at all. So that's what scares me with as far as the total goes. I think if I had to play it, I'd probably just go back to OKC team total under. It's 110.5. That's the way I probably play it. They got to. Matter of fact, let's just look at this real quick. Let's go back to this. This is the last thing I'm gonna share because I haven't bet the game yet, but it's gonna be Minnesota plus the points, or team total under for OKC. All right. So this is OKC on the road, right? I just told you guys it's Thunder playoffs on the road. That's what's highlighted here. What I typed in, 105.83. They scored 114 against the Grizzlies, 117 against the Grizzlies. Grizzlies defense was one of the worst in the NBA. As far as playoff teams, 104 against the Nuggets. Came back in the next game, scored 92, well under their team total in both. 107 against the Nuggets, 5 points under their team total, and then 101 against the Timberwolves, 8.5 points under their team total. So they are. All 6 games they've gone under their team total. We talked about this in the beginning. Right now, you can get the team total under 110.5. I think is the best number. That might be the play, man. That way, I don't even worry about the spread. I'm expecting regression. I'm expecting the defense to play. I'm expecting regression from the Thunder's offense. I'm expecting the defense to be better for OKC. But I'm not banking on OKC to be able to score the basketball. Under 110.5, I think is what I might end up on in this game. And there you saw me handicap the game live, just kind of showing you guys how I go through the process. Hopefully it was helpful. Take your pen and your paper out. Take some notes, man. This can make you a lot of money in the future. All right, so let's jump into the quick recap. As I mentioned, I hadn't made a play yet. So, but it will be Minnesota plus the 3.5, or OKC team total under. So big. OKC team total under 110.5. If I had to play. Yeah, those would be red though, because I haven't played them yet. For people who don't know, plays that I make that are official plays are not going to be red. And then just to go back real quick into the player props, I like Naz Reid, man, over his 11.5 points, or Dante DiVincenzo. I have no idea how to spell DiVincenzo. Dante. Oh, nah, you spelled it the way I thought you spelled it. Okay. DiVincenzo over, I think it was 7.5 points. Yeah, these would be the ways that I would be playing the games today, man. If I was gonna bet them, if I was betting this game, it would be, I wouldn't play Nas and Dante, but I'll play one of them. And then I think the OKC team total is the one that stands out the most to me. Thinking that their offense is gonna struggle again, though, man. That's my thought process. Best of luck, man, whatever you guys are betting. I do appreciate you guys for taking some time out of your day to join the ChrisBeCappinn Show, especially on a Memorial Day. Again, salute to everybody that's put their life on the line, to fight for our beautiful country of America and our freedom. Take a minute out to reflect upon that today for sure. Check the resources out if you guys are interested. Outlier, Moneyballer, OddsJam, jaXon, all the different things. And there is a link in the description to sign up for sportsbooks if you guys are interested or need one as well. We'll greatly appreciate you guys using that link. That'll be it, man. We'll be back tomorrow to go over WNBA and game number 4 between the New York Knickerbockers and the Indiana Pacers, man. Enjoy your Memorial Day. I'll catch you guys in the next one.